for the people who don't know you, who are you?
Yes, I am Parker Schultz. Grew up in West Bend, Wisconsin, also known as Social Cig in the Milwaukee music scene.
What kind of music does Social Cig make?
I call it Midwest indie skate rock, indie rock, sort of adjacent music.
How'd you come to that? Like, what spoke to you about that genre? I'm sure you were probably listening to a lot of indie music when you were a kid.
Oh yeah, I was in a band in high school with my older brother and two of our buddies, and it was basically a FM 1021 cover band, so like Weezer, Blink-182, Green Day, all those bands are my faves growing up, so that definitely influenced like my rock sort of sound on guitar.
And then were you always playing guitar, or were you always skating too?
Yeah, skating, snowboarding, wakeboarding. Our band in high school was called Borderline because we did all like the border sports.
Nice.
So yeah, grew up skating, still skate to this day.
What is the most impressive trick you can do on a skateboard?
My favorite is fakie big spin. Like most complicated would be a fakie big spin front board. On a rail.
Could
so
you
like
stomp
big
that in one try, or would you need a couple?
I might need a couple tries, yeah. Otherwise, fakie big flip.
Okay.
Is my bread and butter. That's fun with it.
I skate. I go to the park once a quarter, maybe, just to keep up the skills, so I can always know I can carve a bowl. I can still kick flip.
Right, when someone's chirping, do a kick flip, you can do it.
Yeah. Because if I'm just riding my skateboard to get to a friend's house, somebody else do a kick flip. I need to be able to do it. Yeah, because I don't want to be that guy. Say, no, I can't. Or the shoes. You know, it's just like if somebody says it, you gotta do a
come
kick
prepared
flip.
for sure.
You gotta come prepared, man. All right, so who would you say like you make music for? Like, who's your audience that you're trying to reach?
It depends. I feel like I go through different waves. Usually it's from the start, it was kind of for myself. As I was saying, I was in a band and then we broke up because I was the younger guy, and then I was writing just kind of solo music for a while. I did a talent show in high school. I bombed. In my head, I bombed. And then ever since that traumatic incident, I kind of locked myself away in my basement just writing. I didn't want to show anybody my music. So I kind of just would write for myself originally. Then I would kind of show my friends in college, and just surrounded by some really great people that would convince me to be like, you got to start sharing this out. Like, we really like your stuff. And so that was the whole journey. And now it's kind of like for myself and whatever's fun. Sometimes I'll write songs that I think will be really fun to play live. But lyrics-wise, I like to just draw from my just whatever's going on in my life at the time. So I like to think of my albums. I have 4 albums out right now as chapters of my life, of what's going on. So I can look back and kind of feel what I was going through at that time. So, yeah.
All right, so you have 4 albums. How many songs do you think you have published?
Probably about 50 songs.
How many songs are not published that are like just will never see the light of day?
Hundreds, man. It's hard to think of a number. I have a lot of like half-written songs too. Sometimes they'll come back, melodies and voice memos galore, like thousands of voice memos on my phone.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, so explain a little bit about Social Cig, because I know it's a band, but it's really just you, because you have like this rotating cast of people who play with you. Talk to me about like the makeup of Social Cig.
Exactly. Yeah, I started Social Cig in 2019 in my bedroom just recording, and I put out my first album. Played a few shows, but from the get, I always was inspired by kind of solo artists that maybe like Goth Babe, for instance, who it's kind of his project, Griffin, I don't know his name, but he has a band supporting him on stage when playing live. And I've always kind of liked that control of this is my project and this is my way of expressing myself, but also playing with the band is a lot of fun. So it's, since like 2019, it's been a rotating cast of friends on stage. What was the question again?
the makeup of it, because it was like it is such a rotating cast of people that you are Social Cig, and normally people would be like, oh, is this a band? Who else is in it? You have your guitarist, your drummer, or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's really just rotating, people coming in and out all the time based on availability, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah. A lot of other guys in the band, or in Social Cig, are in other bands too. So it's kind of hard to work around schedules, and bands break up sometimes. So unfortunately, so I've always kind of wanted, if I wanted to end Social Cig, I don't have to depend on anyone else's life and decisions. So
why would you want to end Social Cig, or what would make you?
I never would. I don't think I ever would.
Okay.
I think if I were to like some sort of crazy life event, maybe I'll take a break. But I think I'll always be making music under Social Cig. Yeah. So yeah, I listened to like sorry, but I remember recently, and it took a while to like figure out the identity of Social Cig. And recently, like maybe a year or two ago, like listening to a podcast with Bon Iver, Justin Vernon, and he was I liked how he looks at his project. He's like, band, project, idea, concept, like whatever you want to call it. Like whatever it is at that time is what it is. So I kind of like that looseness of it. Like for a bit, I was like, am I a band? Am I just like a solo project? But I kind of like how he looks at it, like it's not that deep. So yeah.
It's just whatever it is at that moment. How often, or how many instruments do you play?
Well, like playing well, I play guitar the best. Piano, I started playing piano when I was younger, but I just have a small base of that, and then bass guitar, pretty much.
So are you arranging all these songs too? Like, do you have like drum set that you kind of like mess around with to see like, okay, does this sound good? Is this a good groove?
I've gotten pretty good at MIDI drums,
Yeah,
so I'll just be literally hunched over my laptop, just like listening over and over, moving stuff. Yeah.
What, like, I know you said you draw inspiration from your life. Is that through hardships? Is that through travel? Is that through love and relationships? What are some of the more specific things?
Yeah, exactly. Like my first album was just kind of like figuring out, I was in college and just kind of navigating like relationships at the time, friendships, and yeah, that was just parties in college and just the life of college and all that. My second album was like kind of my COVID baby. The pandemic happened, so I just locked away at writing, and I went through a heartbreak at the time, so that's kind of like my heartbreak very emo album. Third one is kind of post COVID, starting to play shows again. I got more live drums on that album, and that one's called Cheesehead, and that one's a lot of fun. That has a lot of songs that are just fun to play live, and kind of like navigating the relationships and friendships post-college and just kind of figuring out like what do we do, and
yeah, life as an adult, man, right?
Yeah, exactly. People moving away and just trying to keep in touch with friends, and then after I put that album out, I really wanted to hit the road hard and try to play outside of Milwaukee and Wisconsin and the Midwest, and didn't have a whole lot of time I wasn't focused on writing songs and recording, so this last winter of 2024, I kind of, or 2025 technically, I took the 3 months off of shows and just buckled down and started writing again, and that's basically my the fourth album that I just put out in September, Patchwork of Road Dog Story, because I drew a lot of inspiration from the road and just kind of seeing the country for the first time, and getting to play shows outside of the Midwest was just such a dream of mine come true, and yeah, a lot of special moments throughout that experience that I kind of drew from.
And it's cool because you're going on these tours, but you're doing a lot of the setup, right? You're the booking manager and everything, right?
I'm my own booking manager, merch manager, tour bus driver.
That's crazy. That's a lot to do.
Yep, a lot of buttons, a lot of hats.
How do you manage that while also creating content to promote on social media, while writing songs and everything? How do you find balance?
For sure. It's kind of tough to have a steady, consistent routine, but yeah, and it changes by the week for sure. If I got shows the upcoming weekend, or if I'm going on tour, it's really, yeah, I try to stay consistent with with my notes app and just writing out goals, and a certain schedule I use on Google Docs, and then setting up band practices and set lists, and just making sure it's like running a business in a way, and
100%. I mean, it is a business too, right?
Exactly, yeah. I do
you
this.
said writing goals down on your notes app, so I'm curious. What are those goals? What are your like dreams and aspirations
For
as a
sure.
musician?
Well, 2026 just came, so as you know, it's just a fresh wave of new energy. So I'd like to set some good intentions for the year. And
like what though? Like, are you trying to? What are you trying to do? What are those intentions?
in spring, I would love to, or I'm going to focus on playing a lot of weekend runs, so it's a little bit easier with the band schedule, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or just Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I really want to try to hit smaller markets in the Midwest, so like Stevens Point, Appleton, Green Bay, La Crosse, Eau Claire, and even down in Illinois, like Bloomington, Normal, get over to Michigan, Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids are really great. Anywhere we can do like within a weekend's reach, just really try to dial in these smaller markets, because I've done stretches out to the East Coast and the West Coast, and those are really big operations. So trying to dial it down and focus on growing like an audience even more in depth in the Midwest is my spring goal. So
it also sounds like a lot of college towns, like a lot of college shows kind of thing. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We just played State College, Pennsylvania, and it was syllabus week for them, so it was kind of like a off weekend, and it was a packed house show, and those are a lot of fun and usually easier to kind of promote. Like just it's a party in itself, so people come out to the show and really receptive.
You're doing a lot of like, you're well known in the Milwaukee sphere, this Midwest sphere, Wisconsin, and you're playing a lot of shows here. How have you been able to get your name out to the places on the East Coast and the West Coast?
Usually it's the internet, trying to navigate like Facebook ads and stuff, but also word of mouth, and just really kind of going in blind the first time you go to a city out there. I've tried to be consistent in going back to cities I've played in before, and just kind of maybe the first time you're playing to two people in a room, but you meet the bands that you play with, you meet the venue, and it's kind of just a building block, So a lot of the times it's playing in front of the local bands draw, and hopefully they dig your stuff, and just making more and more connections, just building naturally, building the email list, building the followers online. And
it's a slow grind,
it's a slog,
dude.
yeah.
It really is, and it's like, it's late hours, it's late nights, it's early mornings.
Oh, yeah.
You probably eat so much food on the road, dude, when you're doing these road trips and everything.
And I love it. I really try to embrace it, and like sometimes it's like, when you're waking up and doing an 8-hour drive, and it's I don't know, it's just kind of like really digging into the dirt and just enjoying it, because I hope to look back one day and be like, oh, that was rad.
To do this, dude, is not easy. What like keeps you motivated? What keeps you going even when you're like, man, nothing's working out?
I think I'm kind of crazy a little bit, but it's just the drive. I've always had such a crazy drive. My dad is an entrepreneur, so my parents really inspired me to kind of get after it a lot. It's just chasing the dream, I guess, and like I said before, it's just like enjoying the slow grind, but also kind of having these goals that I'm chasing, and checking off goals when you hit them, and
What's the big dream? Anything you could accomplish, anything in the world. You could play any venue, work with any artist. What's the huge big dream?
I would love to be able to tour the U.S. as a headlining artist, as playing 200 to 400 cap rooms that sell out every single time. Nothing like stadiums or anything, but I wouldn't turn down the opportunity.
Well, that's interesting. You said 200 to 400 cap rooms. I was expecting, I want to go on the stadium tour, global tour, Australia, Denmark, England, but you're like 200 to 400 shows.
I like to adapt, so I'm definitely open to that idea, but right now the dream is to just to get a consistent fan base, so it's sustainable, and building up a team around me that hopefully I can do this independent as long as I can, and really try to make it work as an independent entity, Social Cig, and meet a lot of cool people and do a lot of cool things.
I love that, dude.
Yeah.
When it comes to the name Social Cig, where did that come from?
So in 2019 I was in college and I was starting to write songs, and I was like, I need a good band name or a good artist name, and for like a year I was just like in my head just grabbing anything and just being like, is this a good band name? And one day at work, I was working the boss vans at UW Milwaukee, and shout out my friend Ryan. Rewind a little bit. At my college house, I lived with 5 guys, and on our balcony, we had a balcony, and we had this big bag of tobacco in our house, and then these little rolls of filtered tube cigarettes, and we called them the Social Cigs because none of us really smoked cigarettes, but every time we had people over at parties, we would just sit around the table and stuff the tobacco in, and we called them Social Cigs because they were only social. And so, and then I was at work around the same time, and my friend Ryan was, she came in and she's like, I had the craziest night ever. I just smoked this social cigarette with Young the Giant at Summerfest. And at that moment I was like, Social Cig. And I looked it up on Instagram and Googled it to make sure it wasn't taken. And immediately from there, I was like, this checks all the boxes. I wanted something that tells a story. It's like a good vibe. It connects with people when you hear just the phrase, and just the marketing brain in me.
I mean, it's definitely like ear catching. I was gonna say eye catching, but like when you hear it, you're like Social Cig. And it has like a gritty grunginess to it, and it does tell a story. Like a social cig is a cig that you're hanging out with your friends, or maybe you're passing it around, whatever it is. There's been a lot of people who've shared that social cig at parties outside of bars.
For sure. There's something ritualistic about like sharing a conversation, and I've had a lot of deep human conversations over a social cig, and maybe there's something disarming about sharing a cigarette with somebody, and something very human about it that I just love.
Does that have anything to do with your sweatshirt Old Smoky, or is that
a little bit? we were through the Smoky Mountains, and actually, very crazy you bring that up. My friend Ryan, who said that about social cig, she moved to Tennessee, and she works at the Old Smoky distillery, and so we were touring through. We stayed with her, and she gave us a tour of the Old Smoky distillery, and I bought this.
I gotta rock this.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so you put out an album in October?
September.
September. The album. When was the album release party?
It was September 12th.
And then it was at Turner Hall. How cool did that feel to play this show? Your album's out, and you see a packed audience. How does that feel? Amazing,
man. Just kind of sharing it with all the people that were working on the album, and shout out Jake Beanboy Henbest, who is my audio engineer. He mixes and masters all my stuff, and he actually was running sound. He works at Pabst Theater Group, so he was running sound for it. And a lot of work went into that just to get that show, the production. We built a backyard basically on the show. On the stage, and the idea was to share a social cigarette with the crowd and just being like in a Midwestern backyard setting. So we do this bit where we have pool noodles that I make into giant cigarettes, and we threw them into the crowd towards the end, and it's just a lot of fun. We like to have fun on our live shows.
After the shows, do you go out and like say hi to the fans or anything?
Sure.
I'm sure. Okay, you got your homies down there. I know that for sure. Maybe you got some parents, friends, or anything. Does anybody surprising come to your shows, like an old third grade teacher or something?
Yeah,
really?
definitely. Like my old guitar teacher came to a show once, and he was really stoked about it. And that Turner Hall show, there was a girl that was like, "Do you recognize me?" And I'm like,
nah. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I was like, honestly, no. She's like, it was basically my brother, or my buddy's younger sister that came out to the show, and that was a crazy, like, what the heck?
Yeah, like, you're here? Wow, okay.
Yeah, but my parents come to every show, and they have a fun group of friends that come out to every show. So they also kind of get it, like, when I'm kind of just being swarmed by people, and I had a friend that came in from Florida to that one, and she came over with her husband for like coffee the next day, just so we could finally just kind of
to talk.
Actually catch up, you know, because at the shows it's just
you can't. There's so many people.
Yeah, for sure. Adrenaline's just pumping.
So what do you make of the Milwaukee indie music scene? Is it healthy right now? Is it blown up? What would you say?
For sure. I feel like it's I had a really good pulse on it, like when I was more active playing like any Milwaukee show I could get. But I try to keep in touch with like some younger cats coming up in the scene, and there's some really cool ones that that I have an eye on, mostly through the internet. I'm kind of keeping tabs on. For instance, like Bovey, Adam Blackwood, and some others. I'm trying to think. But yeah, I try to go to shows when I can, but also when I'm doing shows so much, it's kind of like not my, I don't really go to shows in my free time.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'll work events at Falcon Bowl. I'll be behind the bar for some shows that they throw in the Nest, and that's a really fun way to like be in the scene. Also like, just to kind of be involved in curating and like seeing new bands and stuff. So.
Because people are saying, you know, especially over the past like 2 years, Milwaukee music when it comes to the rap scene is really blowing up, is really taking off, is starting to find footing outside of Wisconsin. Do you see that with the local indie scene here, or is it like comparing two different things?
It's tough. Like a lot of bands sometimes will move to Chicago and trying to do that. People will move out of Milwaukee. I've known some people in the just kind of playing out in Milwaukee for a while, and sometimes bands break up. It's just it's just the reality of it. Yeah, there's definitely a solid scene with the college just being here, like college, just like younger bands kind of forming and whatnot. But yeah, I would love to see like more industry kind of be attracted to Milwaukee as like a music scene. I feel like that doesn't really exist a lot. I feel like there's not a whole lot of eyeballs on Milwaukee, but there's a lot of great music. So.
Well, it's tough because a lot of people, they get a little bit of momentum and then they choose to go to Chicago, LA, New York, right? Which is difficult for, you know, to keep that Milwaukee like vibe, right?
For sure.
Oh, I just had something good.
Which I've always felt like it's, for me, like I love Milwaukee. I think I'll live here forever. It's always been almost for sure a positive being like a bigger fish in a smaller pond, whether compared to like moving to LA or Nashville, New York, you're like surrounded by so many people trying to do the same thing. So standing out in Milwaukee, like when a touring band comes through, you get like a better chance at an opportunity to open for that touring band or play a Pabst Theater Group opening slot or the rave or something like that. So there's tons of opportunity here. I just think that overall we could do a better job at like showing or letting artists know that there are these opportunities out there.
How do you let those people know about it? When I asked a couple of Milwaukee rappers, I was like, what's the key to really breaking through the scene? They were, and like making this more popular nationwide, they're like, we got to collaborate more. We got to be working with each other and not see it as like, you know, it's me against all these other people. We got to work together. We got to build. A rising tide lifts all boats, right?
For sure,
so like, what's the way that you see the indie music scene, just the music scene in general, to kind of like continue to develop in Milwaukee and Wisconsin?
Definitely, same thing. It's just kind of like having an open conversation with each other. I have a lot of bands kind of reach out to me and ask me questions, and I always do my best to try and hop on phone calls with them and kind of telling them what I know. And I know like Cactus Club has a good resource for artists. Like they're always an open book of like trying to educate people on like booking world and just social media world of just like being an artist and like how you can consistently improve at that. And I'm always learning myself as well and trying to like navigate it. And it's like, do you need a label or can you do it DIY? And there's just so many different ways you can go about it. So I always try to just be an open book of like the rising tides raises all ships. So and I think there's definitely a benefit to just meeting other artists and just working together.
I think that's so true. I do that with like the news too. If people are like, how do you find your stories, James? What's going on? I want to like, I got this knowledge from somebody, or I learned some of it on my own. I want to pass it to the next person. I always want to help because I feel like we can always like improve upon our craft, and it makes everybody better. So I never want to be like a gatekeeper, right?
For sure.
Of like, oh no, man, I can't tell you these secrets because you're gonna steal my shine or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Like, you got to have that collaborative approach.
Definitely.
To really make it, and then like a couple of people make it big, they start getting bigger, and that just helps out,
For sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like, especially on the booking end of it all, like I get a lot of DMs like, do you have this, like, how do you book a show in Chicago, or like venue recommendations? And I have like a spreadsheet of just like, I try to keep it with active venues and bands for like each city, and just try to share that info as much as possible.
You sound super organized.
I'm pretty, like I said, I'm kind of crazy, but yeah, I got like a ledger, just Google spreadsheets and like galore. It's
I mean, it is a business, and when you have to run your content creation, the music, the booking, the advertising, the merch, there's a lot of different things to keep track of. If you weren't organized, you'd be all over the place.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, you'd be like, wait, what did I do? I forgot.
For sure.
It'd be like that one SpongeBob meme,
Yeah, exactly. Like, I got so many tabs in my brain, so that's why I'm keeping it like all on my notes app. I just got to keep it all straight, for sure.
If you weren't making music, touring, what would you be doing? What would you want to do?
I think I love the idea of being a firefighter.
I was not expecting that.
I don't know, just like being involved in the community on like a small local level, and just like being something positive, and just a little bit more of like a chill lifestyle.
Firefighters chill, bro? They're literally
I don't know.
burning buildings.
I said I love the idea, so I don't really know too much about it, like saving a cat from a tree.
Sure.
And getting people stuck out of elevators and stuff.
But that does sound, that kind of goes to your whole ethos of like, my dream is not to do stadium tours across the country. I just want the 200 to 400 person shows.
So like diehard fans that are gonna go crazy.
Which speaks to the local side of things, right? Where, you want to be part of the community, part of the scene. So it kind of does make sense when you think about it.
Yeah, sure. That's what matters too at the end of the day. And another goal of 2026 is like trying to build community a little bit better around Social Cig. Like, the world is just so online, and sometimes like the shows, and like we were talking about before, it's like after a show, I see so many friends come to the show, but it's like these really small moments that I really get to like figure out like what they're up to in life, unless we're like crashing at their house on the road or something like that, but which is always a blast. But more often than not, it's always these like small like highs and goodbyes. So I'm trying to figure out, I've seen some bands do things like run clubs before or after a show, or like coffee meetups. So I had this idea of like doing social spins. I love to bike, so my family owns a bike shop in West Bend. That's what my dad. I kind of grew up around a bicycle, snowboard, ski shop, and so I'd love to like figure out how I can bring my bike on the road, and like the day after a show, do like a group ride around the city, and it'd be a fun just way to just cross that bridge.
When you said social and then spit, I heard this, and I was like, social cigs with social cig. That's what I thought you were gonna say.
Oh yeah, right. Just chain smoking.
And the coffee in the morning, dude. You got your black coffee and you got your cig. No, but that is cool. That's another way to do it. I feel like Diplo does a lot of his run clubs. He's like super into the run clubs. And he throws like shows after the run club
so
too,
cool.
which is kind of cool. But he's also Diplo, so it's like a totally different,
right?
Right, totally different dude. Okay, you've got a tour coming up. You've already done one show at State College. Where else are you playing? How many shows you got coming up?
Yeah, so we did a weekend run in Pennsylvania. We did State College and then Pittsburgh, both awesome shows. And then it's basically a month full of weekend runs. So we got Madison on Friday and Milwaukee on Saturday. We're doing a dress fancy theme, dress formal, indie rock formal.
Okay.
So we want people to come dressing dressed into their best,
Cool.
and
But
we're
like
rocking out.
indie rock, so it's still like not quite black tie wedding, but it's like
So black tie wearing Converse.
yeah, Converse,
exactly. And then after that, doing Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, and Bloomington Normal, Illinois. And then after that, me and my girlfriend are going to Tokyo. So my brother lives out there, so we're kind of doing a trip out to Japan, and I got a show booked out there, and I'm trying to book 2 more in other
That's
cities.
what I wanted to talk about, man. How did you manage the Tokyo show?
For sure. So
Because you're just doing like Midwest shows. You're like, I want to go to Stevens Point and Kalamazoo,
and then
all
Tokyo,
this-
Japan.
Tokyo, Japan, dude.
Yeah. So it's like a mixture of a vacation. I really love the idea of, shout out Holy Pinto, Eamon. He's a local, well, he's from England, but he lives in Milwaukee now. But I've had a lot of good conversations with him, and he said like, just kind of see the world through touring music. Like if you're traveling and planning a trip, try to book a show. So my brother is out there in Tokyo, and he's moving in March. So we're like, we gotta get out there before he moves. So we booked a 15-day trip out to Japan,
cool.
and just gonna eat so much good food and kind of soak in the culture, but also try to rip some shows.
How are you gonna like transport your gear?
So when I do solo sets, I have a backing track machine that's kind of my band, and then I play with the guitar and then sing. I will likely backline my guitar, so I try to just find use someone else's guitar, but I'll bring my little foot switch backing track pedal.
Yep. Dude, and then I love the term, rip some shows, bro.
Yeah.
Just rip some shows out in
Rip
Tokyo.
some shows, like.
You said it so casually. Just rip a couple shows in Tokyo, then I'll be back and go to Stevens Point.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's the lifestyle.
That's so cool. Okay, when you reach out to a place in Tokyo, are you just cold emailing, cold calling?
So this will be my second time in Tokyo. I played 2 shows out there in September of 2024.
Cool.
I was out there visiting my brother. So one of the shows that I got booked out there is one of the venues I played last time, which is this dude who's, I forget where he's from, but he's English speaking, but he throws on a showcase every Thursday night at this room in Shibuya, which is this pretty popular area in Tokyo. And it's it's kind of like trying to find English promoters that like speak English, because navigating I don't speak any Japanese, and this time around I'm trying to book some shows in Osaka and Kyoto, and I've shot out some emails, and it's hilarious. I have a screenshot, but my email's like, "Hello, I'm Parker, and I'm from indie rock band Social Cig," and the response is just all in Japanese characters. It's like, oh my gosh, but you can translate it.
Well, yeah, I was wondering, like, are you just doing Google Translate? Like, how do you shoot off those emails?
Yeah, I sent them in English, so.
You're like, I really hope they can respond and read this.
For sure.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and if I don't book another show, it's not the end of the world. It's more of a trip to see my brother at the end of the day.
Sure.
So, yeah.
But it is cool to rip a couple shows in Tokyo.
Exactly.
And just be like, oh, yeah, casual.
While I'm there. And when I was there in 2024, I was kind of expecting like a majorly like Japanese crowd, but given that it was like an English promoter, it was really a lot of foreigners and transplants coming in and seeing the show. So it was kind of felt like just another show on the road, but when you walk out the door, it's like, oh, we're in Japan.
Yeah, right.
So yeah.
All right, starting to wrap up here. I got a few more questions for you.
Yeah.
One. You mentioned it real quickly, rocking the bangs.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the haircut, dude, because it's quite the straight line.
For sure.
It feels very indie rock to me.
Heck yeah. I feel like I'm one to change up my look quite a bit. If you do a deep dive on my Instagram, I have bleached hair, buzzed hair, long hair. But lately I've just been rocking, and I was doing the mullet last year, and since like August, I have been cutting my own hair.
Nice.
So usually I'll go and get my hair cut at a salon, but just trying to save money. And Sheila, my girlfriend, she'll cut the back, I cut the front.
Does anybody ever say, when you say like, oh, I cut my own hair, and they're like, oh, I can tell?
Not yet, but like I am not afraid of that criticism. Like Yeah, I know it might look a little goofy, but whatever. And,
no, I just had to ask, dude.
Yeah, no, for
it's
sure.
very iconic. It's a very.
No, I just make fun of myself.
And,
And yeah, I'd pull up pictures of Lord Farquaad and try to match it up. It's yeah, and I was thinking about maybe buzzing my hair again, bleaching it. We'll see what happens. Yeah,
go crazy.
Ever changing.
I kind of envy you that you have that ability, because there's times where I just want to like buzz my hair, or like I want to try to grow it out or do something crazy, but like I'm kind of restricted because I can't like do something ridiculous with my hair.
For sure.
Otherwise, I may or may not have my bosses being like, "Was that a good idea, James?"
For sure.
I know they support me. I know they do.
I always think if there was like some sort of pill you could take where you take it and your hair just grows out super long, that would be awesome.
That'd be so cool.
Just a weekend persona.
Yeah, a quick like little weekend thing. It's gone by the like Monday morning.
Just cut it.
There was a time where I wanted this like really cool like debonair like English prince, or like like this just crazy flow and everything.
Hey,
but
like
I got a crazy hairline, dude. It like goes pretty far back.
Not that bad.
Nah, dude, it's a good 5 head.
5 fingers.
But,
yeah.
So when you go too far back with it, it's like, whoa, dude, put the forehead away. Okay, off hair topic. What do you want people to know about you when they watch this story or when they watch this interview?
For sure. Our live shows are so much fun. I think with the world of the internet, sometimes it's hard to get out of the house, especially in the winter. But man, we just like to have fun. We like to throw parties. So any Social Cig show you go to, it's a guaranteed good time, good vibes. The people that come out are really good humans. And if you're just looking for a place to let loose, a safe space to let loose, like come to a Social Cig show, or even an indie rock show in the Milwaukee scene. There's there's shows happening all the time. So yeah, I guess that's what I want. I want people to know that they're welcome to come to a show.
Yeah. And then once again, describe your sound. How would you describe it to a mom in Brookfield who has never heard of Social Cig, and she goes, "Social Cig"?
Gosh, there's so many. There's a few bands that I like to draw for, like say, maybe like Third Eye Blind meets Green Day, and has I like to call it Midwest indie skate rock. It's ever changing. Something that you might hear on the radio, listening to an alternative channel. Yeah.
Cool. All right, and this is my Hot Ones moment, or this is your Hot Ones moment.
Yeah.
There's a camera there. There's a camera there. Anything you want to promote? Anything you want to tell the people?
For sure. I'm playing some shows in January, probably coming to a city near you in the spring. Check out my music anywhere you listen to music. Yeah, thanks for watching.
Dude, this is
dope.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, James.